How did we get to this point, Sal?
Pretty shocking, Dan. Pretty shocking. I think it's a matter of procedure as it is a matter of the voters' decisions. By the bylaws of the Hall of Fame, I can't talk to you about the process. I can just tell you what I did and what I considered. I voted for Bill Belichick as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I supported him as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Of course, when you're in this process, you do your due diligence for all of the candidates because A, that's your job, and B, this is their legacy, and you want to make sure you get it right. So I take it really seriously. And of course, I considered Spygate. I considered whether he was going to come back into the NFL. I considered whether it was more Brady than Belichick. All of those things went into my thinking. But in the end, Dan, I decided that his credentials and his accomplishments outweighed all of those things, making him a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, the procedure part is a little idiosyncratic because we had two votes. The first one was we had three seniors, L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, and Ken Anderson. They were the finalists. And then Bob Kraft as the contributor, and then Bill Belichick. And we were asked to vote for three of the five. And in the end, according to the reporting, I'm not going to give away what I know about the vote. I don't really know much about the class. We're not told. It's supposed to come out at the honors ceremony next Thursday. Belichick didn't get the required votes. Whether that was members of the committee saying, you know what, I'm going to vote for my guy or for somebody else because I know Belichick's going to get the required votes. So I'm not going to waste my vote on Bill Belichick. And, I hope that's not what people were thinking. I don't know. But you have to ask somebody who didn't vote for him because I voted for him.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's going to make that public.
No, probably not.
Should we make it public?
100%. We should make everything public. We live it, Dan. You have cameras in the courtroom. You have cameras everywhere. And I think, some people say, well, that will chill the debate. No, I think that will concentrate and focus the debate in the room. If you have cameras in the room, and by the way, sell it. And I've always said, come on, you could have who wouldn't watch the Hall of Fame debate?
Well, this is what I've said for years. Put it on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Have it start at 10 in the morning and go to 6 at night. And it's like C-SPAN. C-SPAN's not very exciting, but there are moments that it is, and they're voting on some really serious stuff. I would love to have a little more transparency, and I would hope that those who didn't vote for Bill can at least explain why you didn't. And if you say Spygate, I'm fine with that. If you say that Deflategate, I'm fine with that. But I don't think you can look at Bill's resume and say he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Unless you're factoring in something that we don't know, and I was told the same thing you were, and that is Bill coming back to the NFL? Don't want to have somebody in the Hall of Fame who's still an active coach, and whether that's true or not, but I was just kind of surprised. Then Jimmy Johnson calling those who didn't vote for Bill cowards. Pretty harsh.
Let's tone down the rhetoric there. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's important. Let's look at the philosophy of what you just laid out. You and I are in agreement. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the Sunshine Law in Florida. All public records, public. Cameras in the courtroom. We want to hold public officials accountable. Certainly we want to hold Hall of Famers accountable. And the best way to do that, hey, now you got to put a suit and a tie on and you're in the meeting and you have to make your case. And I would say it's not like C-SPAN, because I've been in that room. It's more like Prime Minister's Question Time. If you've ever seen that, you make your case and then people shout and moan and scream and then, they come right back at you, my right honorable friend and all that. I love watching Prime Minister's Question Time because it's a lot of fun and it's interesting to be. But that's philosophically and procedurally. But I'm a big believer, Dan, in doing what it takes to put people in the Hall of Fame, not keep them out. So I think that we should have a coach every year, separate category, up or down, because you got Belichick waiting, Coughlin waiting, Shanahan waiting, Holmgren waiting. Andy Reid is going to be in the queue. That's 5 guys. Bob Kraft has waited way, way, way too long. I was his presenter for 3 years. And talk about debate. And Bob Kraft's waited too long. Adam Vinatieri and other special teams guys should get in maybe once every 3 years or 5 years. How about Sean Landetta? Has been on two all-decade teams. Vinatieri, Steve Tasker. These guys should be in the assistant coaches. Tom Moore, Monty Kiffin, Ben. I'm thinking of the old Eagles defensive coordinator, Carson, Jim Johnson.
Bud
all
Carson.
these guys, Bud Carson, excuse me, thank you, Dan. All these guys should have a chance to go into the Hall of Fame. Maybe it's a separate wing, separate category, but I'm for putting guys in, not keeping them out.
Yeah, but there's this backlog now because these other coaches, now they get pushed back another year. I don't know if Ken Anderson or L.C. Greenwood or Roger Craig get in. And somebody told me this morning, we have to go back to what it was, a couple of years ago. If you get down to 5, Sal, 5 should go in. Not get down to 5 and then we're going to vote for 3 to go in. And you got to get 80%. I don't, just feels like there are guys, if I say Luke Kuechly, Hall of Famer, you go yes. Correct? Adam Vinatieri, Hall of Famer, yes. We get caught up in procedural instead of what the goal is to celebrate the game with guys we know are Hall of Famers. Like Larry Fitzgerald's going to get in, probably his first ballot. That means Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are not going to get in. But this backlog is what concerns me as we move forward. And I agree with you. If you want to have a coaching category and you want to have just players and then you have a contributor, that's fine. But, I thought it was just a bad day for the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Well, it's great when Bill Belichick can lead to reform.